Hi guys, Squishy Bee. This is February 17th, 2021. I wanted to share some pictures that I took the other day while I was out getting blood work done. So it wasn't too far from where I live in New York. I was driving, well, my husband was driving, and I saw what looked like the sun shining and then a separate light source down kind of kitty corner shining through the clouds. So something just told me to take a bunch of pictures, which I did over the course of like a mile to just see if I could catch anything kind of in between the trees. Whenever there was a gap, I would take a picture. And then we stopped at a gas station and I started looking at these pictures, and there was some really weird stuff in here. So I wanted to show this to you. So first off, I saw that there was, a couple of different lights that were showing up separate from the sun. There was like this little tiny sun, what it looked like, and then there was also this little blue light down in the bottom corner. I don't know if that is something else, but at first I was like, okay, maybe it's like some sort of artifact from the camera lens or something. So I just kind of put that on a shelf. But then look at this one. This is clearly a light shining from behind the clouds. So this does not look to me like anything to do with the camera. This looks like it's behind the clouds. And then what is this little purpley light down here? Because that looks like it's in about the same position as that other light that I was just showing you in the bottom left corner. So one of the other things I wanted to show you is this other dot that showed up when we were at the gas station. I took another picture. And look at this other light in the bottom left corner from the sun, kind of kitty corner. This looks also kind of purpley, and it was lit up. And when you zoom in on it, look at what it looks like here. I don't know what to make of this one, but I wanted to include it just because I don't know what it is. It could be some sort of, this one may be some sort of like a camera artifact or some sort of glare or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of this one. Okay, so for this one, this was another picture taken further down the road, and the clouds were covering that area where some of these other lights were shown. And it still picked up a picture of this weird purpley blue light in the bottom left corner. And when you zoom in on this one, look at what it looks like. Now, do you see the difference between this one and the one I just showed you a minute ago, where there was like this kind of like an aura that looks like it could be a glare sort of thing, that could be some sort of effect from the camera? This one doesn't have that because it looks like it's behind the dark clouds in that one spot. So I think this one might be something different. I don't know what, just that I don't think that this one seems like a glare, where the last one seemed like it could be something from the camera. It's just a crappy phone, camera. And I am by no means some sort of camera expert. I just wanted to show you because I thought all of this seemed really interesting and weird to me. And maybe other people will see this and be like, oh, I've seen the same thing. Or somebody might say, no, I know more about cameras, and this one is definitely a camera flare. This one is not. Maybe you know of some other thing that I haven't even thought of. I don't know. That's why I share it, because who knows? So what do you think? All right, so the stuff just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Let me show you this other thing. In this same picture, they had the little blue light in the bottom corner and the other little sun. Look over here to the top left corner at the top. What is this sphere thing here? It looks to me like a metallic round ball. It's kind of in front of the clouds, but it looks like it's got a little bit of haze in front of it. I don't think that this is a drop on the window or anything, because I looked carefully at other pictures that had some splats of salt and stuff on the window, because it is slushy, snowy stuff out, I admit, and stuff was on the windows, wasn't the cleanest window at the time, and, you know, there were random spots. But if you look at that in comparison, the pictures of the spots on the windows, you can tell it's on the window, okay? They're random, they're all misshaped, they're not a perfect round circle, they're tiny little ununiform spots that look flat, okay? Do you know what I mean? The difference between it looks flat versus it looks three-dimensional. Look at that in comparison to this ball thing. To me, this looks like a round sphere. I don't know what this is, but what really got me is, look at this. What the heck is this? This black dot. Clearly this is not a planet, because there wouldn't be clouds behind it if it was a planet. And it's not something for my camera, because it's got clearly clouds in front of it. It's surrounded by clouds in front of and behind it. And if you look, I'm wondering, I don't know if this is a black dot by itself, or if this could be just the tip of something else bigger that's hiding behind the clouds. Because it almost looks like it's attached to this triangle-shaped shadow behind it. So it could be just the end of whatever this triangle thing is here. But if you go back and look at the picture with the sphere thing, you can still see that triangle-shaped shadow behind this sphere thing here, too. You can't see the black dot as clearly, because maybe it wasn't sticking out from in front of the clouds like it was in this other picture. But you can still see whatever this shape is behind the clouds. It looks like a dark, like a dark shadow of some sort of triangle-y thing behind this. And then this sphere thing is in front of it. So I don't know what to make of this. You can also see kind of like a dark circle sort of thing in in the middle of this triangle thing. I don't know what this is. There's just some weird stuff. People have been catching weird things that look like they're kind of hiding in behind the clouds badly, because you can clearly see the outline of them. They're not hiding very well, because people are catching pictures of it. I don't want to share those pictures without getting permission. By the way, if you do have pictures that you want me to share on my channel, I'm happy to do so. I just want to make sure that I have permission to do that, because I don't like to just take people's stuff and put it on without asking first. So if you have video or you have pictures that you want me to share, I'm totally happy to do that for future videos. But in the meantime, what do you think of this stuff? Are you even looking up? Because I know a lot of you are. If you are, start taking random pictures of the sky. You never know what you're going to catch, especially near the sun, because I do genuinely believe that they're trying to cover up stuff that is being hidden, that's by chemtrails. I think that they're hiding this incoming system, and there are different planets that are, different bodies that are being dragged along with this Wormwood system. And that's why you see different colors, different shapes. They're in different locations, because they're different bodies that are dragged along with this system. So, and I think a lot of it is seen around the sun. It's coming from behind the sun towards people. So that's why I think they're using the sun simulator in order to glare out these extra things that are behind the sun so people don't see it. So, but once in a while, maybe somehow that system kind of fails and people are able to see it. But if you're not looking up, you're not going to. And make sure you catch pictures, because you never know. Even if you don't see something right away, just keep taking pictures, because when you zoom in, you might see stuff that you didn't see. All of this was just taken on a crappy phone, a camera phone. So you don't always have to have a really good camera. But imagine if you had one of those, like, I don't know, P1000 or whatever they call those really good cameras. I would love to get one of those, where they can zoom in on the moon and see all the details. I would love to have one of those someday, but I can't justify paying for that right now. But in any case, I don't think we're going to be here much longer. Anyways, I believe that all of this stuff is going on in order to prepare us for, well, not us, but the people that are left behind. I think it's all going to be in order to explain away the rapture, which is very soon. And I would not be surprised if they explain it away with like this alien agenda stuff. I think that they're going to probably act like people were taken, like in this alien invasion or whatever. There's so much programming on that, brainwashing people of that. And look at how many shows and movies they put out showing disappearance of people, implying the rapture but not calling it the rapture. And like stuff like The Leftovers or Glitch, these series like that, they put doubt and confusion in people's minds but prepare them for all these people to disappear. But they don't call it the rapture or say it's from God. They make up all kinds of other stupid things. But they're clearly getting people prepared for that. But then causing confusion because Satan is the author of confusion. Okay, so that's why we're seeing them do all this stuff to make people doubt. And that way, because Satan is preparing now for tribulation, because he knows that that's coming up soon, and the next step is going to be to stop the people from getting saved during tribulation. So he's trying to make it so that they won't think, hey, I remember them talking about the rapture before this happened. Maybe that was true. But isn't it all the Christians that got raptured? And that's when they're going to start saying, but look at all these Catholics are left behind. So it can't be the rapture because Catholics are Christians, right? And I think that is all part of the whole thing where God said, not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, did we not cast out demons in your name and do all these wonderful works? And those people will, and God will say, I never knew you. Because these people are doing these things, trying to work their way to heaven, but they never had a true relationship with Jesus or to put their faith and trust in Him for their salvation. Instead, they were putting all of their faith in themselves to do it. And in graven images and in talking to saints, dead people, and all this stuff that God says not to do. They're doing all of these things. They treat the Pope and priests as gods rather than as men. They're asking them for forgiveness of sins rather than asking God. So while there is probably some Catholics who don't really understand the Catholic religion, that are just kind of, they want to seek Jesus and they understand what Jesus did for them. So there may be a lot of saved Catholics out there that aren't actually working their way to heaven. But I think that the leaders and the vast majority are putting their trust in the wrong thing. And so a lot of them will be left behind. And that's all part of Satan's plan. I think that's why that religion exists, so that people during tribulation will not believe that the rapture was what we said it was. And so then they'll go along with the lie. And then that's why you see the Catholic leaders all attached to alien stuff. Do you notice that? They're really big into the alien agenda, and they're also all into the Chrislam stuff. They're joining together forces with the Muslim leaders. And I think that during tribulation, you're going to see that it's going to be the Muslims combined with the Catholics is even going to be a big part of the Antichrist system. And that's why you're going to see the beheadings, because it's who does the beheadings? It's the Muslims. And they believe that that Jesus is a false prophet and he's going to come back. And I think that they're very confused. It's sad because a lot of them do believe in some very good things. They're following a lot of the Old Testament more than even people that believe in the Bible do. It's just that Satan has really fooled them and confused them, and so it's so amazing when you see Muslims come to faith in Christ, because that is so much harder I think, than any other than the Jews, who have a spiritual delusion. Okay, so they're probably the hardest people to convert into Christianity until it gets into tribulation, which is their time. That's Jacob's trouble. I think, but to now see Jews coming to Christ in time for the rapture is such a miracle. I get so blown away when I see that. But in any case, I think that this is what we're not going to see, but the people who are left behind are going to see those two things come together and have like this one world religion. And that's where you're going to see the people getting the mark on their hand, which I think the reason why it looks, that they say 666 is because the actual wordage in Arabic for the Islamic, their God, looks like a 666. If you compare those two together, they look almost identical in their language. It's so in our face. And a lot of people never saw it from the beginning, all of this stuff coming together. Beheadings, what goes together with beheadings? Who does that? Who's doing it right now? They're beheading Christians in other countries right now. And yet people don't see it. And they're flooding into our country by the droves, the people that believe. And then what does God tell us is going to happen? The people that will be doing these beheadings will think they're doing God a service. They'll think that they're doing this for God, but they're not. They're very confused, God says. So, I mean, it's all coming together. Anyone who can't see all of this stuff just coming together like the birth pangs, rapid fire, one right after the other, getting more closer together and getting stronger, is just not paying attention. If you can't see that, they're just not paying attention, or they're blinded by the god of this world, which is Satan. So we got to work that much harder to get through to people, because that's why we're still here, because God is so patient and He does not want anyone to be left behind. So don't get discouraged. Oh, we're here for another day. Why do we have to tolerate all this stuff? We don't want to be that way. We want to think of it as it's just one more day to pull one more person out of that fire. Because think of, if we think it's terrible, other things that are coming in tribulation, imagine being God, who sees all the details and knows and is the one that is pouring out that wrath. He knows how horrible it's going to be, way more than we could possibly even imagine in our worst nightmares. And so He's like, I have to be sure. He's a very fair and honest God. He knows what's coming, and He wants it to be very fair, that everybody has an opportunity and has heard the gospel, so that all that's left are those who heard the gospel and rejected it. Okay? So you can't get caught up in the people that are left behind and thinking, oh, it's so unfair, they didn't even know better. No, the people that are left behind, I think, are going to be people who did know better. They heard it and rejected it. They were not lovers of the truth. And that's why God says that those who were not lovers of the truth and chose to believe a lie will then believe the lie, and that will damn them, which is the mark of the beast. And you can see now how people are, look at how many people are standing in line to get this vaccine that is full of terrible things, and that has the DNA of murdered babies in it. Okay, they're so quick to jump at that. People that might normally seem like rational people in your lives are just clamoring to get at this vaccine. Imagine how they're going to be when you can't get food without the mark of the beast. When you can't work, you can't have water, you can't have power, you can't have medication. All the more they're going to be clamoring to get that. So it's not going to take much to convince people to get that. So Try really hard to share the gospel with anyone you can. And don't think that you have to necessarily get that person saved and feel all bad about it if they don't get saved on the spot. Because remember, God is working on each individual person his own way, and you don't know how many other people he has sent in their path that week, completely unrelated strangers, and is bombarding with these people with that message, pointing them to Christ. And it's just, could take one last person. At one point, they're like, what is going on here? All these different people couldn't possibly related to each other, and they're all pointing me to God. I think God is trying to send me a sign. So anyways, you never know what your words may mean to this person in the long term. So always speak up and do your best to speak out about Jesus and be ready to give an explanation to the light that is in you, and why you feel this joy and peace despite all of this crazy stuff going on around you. And that is Jesus. So anyway, I am going to let you go. I thank God for you guys every day, and I am very blessed to have the opportunity to chat with you guys and be able to just kind of share our experiences in these crazy last days. So while all this stuff is going on out there, I pray that you're safe and that you're toasty with all of this crazy winter weather that's going on. So stay warm. God bless you. Until next time, guys, I'll be seeing ya. Bye-bye.